All right, here we are, reveal number 783. This is a 1959 Philadelphia hand-wrapped roll. I have opened it up just to be sure that they are BU coins. I have otherwise not looked at anything in here. Couple of nice double die obverses, couple of nice double die reverses headline this particular issue. Possibly a really good chance of finding some goodies in this, so I'm kind of excited about this one. Now it looks like I've got nobody watching. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I do. I got 4 people in here. Just nobody saying anything. There's Jim Valley right there. Eric. John Hanna. All right. First coin in this one's going to be for Sureg. Be watching for double die obverses, double die reverses. Got some really nice ones to be watching for 1959. The first memorial cent issue. Got nothing on this first coin, though. Nuttin'. Welcome back, Nanostacks. And that first coin was not what we were wanting. Let's see what we have. Taco John here. Coin number 2. Looking for just about anything we normally look for on memorial cents, and every bit of it, except for the repunchment marks, of course. 1959 is actually a relatively decent year to find double dies. We got some double die reverses, some double die obverses. So, that being said, second coin shows me nuttin'. Coin number 3 now. Adventures with Maxwell. Oh, look at that. Big old lamb flake just about to come off. So I got a big old area of the coin that has metal flaking up. I don't know if I'll be able to show it. Let's try. Yeah, you can see it's lifting. Nice. Got nothing else on it, though. Pretty decent coin, this coin number 3 for Maxwell. All right, on to coin number 4, this one for Carl. Just to poke through this roll, see if we find anything. Hopefully we do. We did. I think. Yeah. It is a double die reverse. Proving it to you is going to be a little more difficult. Everything is extra thick. Thicker than it should be. By quite a bit, actually. It's a class 6 double die reverse. The best place I can show you is where I found it. So if you look at the corners of the letters, you can see that they're soft, not sharp, and they're doubled. Here's the N of United. Not sharp, or N of one. Not sharp. See, those corners are kind of rounded-ish. Rounded-ish. And there's your doubling right there. You can see it as a ridge line on the letters of the E, on the parts of the E and the N here. That's actually part of the doubling. And then the FG initials, got a little bit of doubling on those as well. I'm going to hold this out. I'm not going to call it a double die necessarily right now, but I believe it is. You can see it there along the left edge of the C. Yeah, this stuff up here, that, and this flat space right here, and this flatness right here, and here, and here, and here, that tells me this is a double die. So I'm going to go with my gut and assume double die on this and let Eric tell me I'm wrong. So there is our first reportable die variety for this roll. Goes to Carl. Let's move to coin number 5 for Eric and get this thing scaled back down to where it needs to be. Bring the lighting down and all that good stuff, everything that we have to do in between looks, because this is not an automatic microscope. It's not a digital microscope. It is a microscope that uses a digital camera through its trinocular lens, which means I have to control the camera and the scope separately. This one's not a double die. I have to go back for that, see if there's any markers. I didn't actually check. I should have. This is Carl's coin again, coin number 4. Oh, there we go. Yeah, substantial, nice, decent markers here on the obverse that will definitely show me the rest of its partners. So all I had to do is remember this. Looks like I got kind of almost a 3-liner, 4-liner going east and west through the 1-9 of the date, along with those others. So that's coin number 4 again. We've already done coin number 5. And now this will be coin number 6 for James Valley. Not the same die. Nice die state these coins are. They're not really any late die state coins in this bunch. That's kind of fun, all on its own. We'll at least see everything there is, you know? May not be anything in the roll, but we'll see anything there is. What did I do here? Coin number 6 is this, James Valley. Mickey fell over. He goes back there. There we go. For Mr. Valley, I found nothing on his coin, but we go to Mickey now, see what we see for Mickey. Again, not that die. This one has very light touch of rotational doubling on the obverse, but I don't think it's going to be enough to call it a double die. I mean, it is a double die, but I don't think it's going to be called a double die because who's going to look for this in later die state? Nobody. Nobody's even going to notice it. But I can see it in the digits of the date, but it's just very minor. So we're not going to call that. But we'll move on to the reverse and see if that obverse pairs up with anything good on the reverse. And our answer to that is no. It does not. So another normal coin in the books. Here, let's check out coin number 8 now for shin bone. This is not the same die. It's very similar, but it's not the same die as that double die reverse, or what we think could be a double die reverse anyway. Let's check the reverse on this one. No, this one's not, and it's kind of telling me that my last one that I saw might not be. But it's okay. We'll find another one belonging to that same die pair and check it out real closely. Stand now. Wow. Nice early die state on this one. Everything is really sharp. A little bit of polishing on it, but still. Look at the outer edges of the lettering. Very sharp. Very nice looking. Nothing on this one on the obverse. Let's check the reverse and see. These are the ones that if you find double dies on them, they're automatically going to be very sought after because they'll be very sharp, very easily definable. This one is a nothing. Yeah, finding the super crisp coins is a bit of a scarcity because fewer than 5%, fewer than 2%, actually, of all the coins minted by any particular die are going to turn out to be very early die state. This is an early die state, not very early die state. This one, you can see a little bit of feathering at the tops of the letters. It's just a little bit of the edge of the tops of the letters chipping out of the die. You can see it. It looks like the letters are kind of on fire. They're glowing at the top. That means that there's a little chipping in the die. And this one is early die state. A little bit of chipping, but no real softness. Let's take a look at the reverse for this one. Very briefly. Nothing. Nothing there. Alright, and this one will go in its holder for Mark. Number 11 now, Sissy. Still not the right die that we're looking for, but definitely early die state. Nothing. Nothing. Taco John. Still not one of them. Nothing there on the obverse. Nice crispy looking reverse. but nothing there. Okay. How about number 13? Paul. Yeah. Nothing on the obverse. Nothing on the reverse. Number 14, Chubby Pop Chaser. Yeah, we've seen this die. This is our very early die state obverse. Nothing do I see on the obverse. And nothing on the reverse. Number 15 now, Stan. Still haven't found another example of that die that we pulled out. Here it is. Okay, there's another example of that same die again. Our trio of lines going horizontally through the 1 and 9. So this will tell us whether or not we're looking at a double die reverse. Study this. Oh yeah, it's a double die reverse. That is a double die. Not a big one, but it's there. We'll try to split it out of here. See if we can split it out of here. Almost. It's more of a thickness thing than anything else, but this entire light colored flat area right here, that is two ridges together. You can see how right here the serif is not a sharp serif. And that's what will lead you into the knowledge that you have this. The E right there, also not sharp at the bottom. None of this is really sharp at the bottom. You got extra thickness going side to side on the initials, which matches up with the rest of what I'm calling doubling here. So, yes, double die. And this is our second one out of the roll. It's rather minor, but it is there. I'll get my lighting situated and I'll move on. Alright, get this coin for Stan in a holder. I'm going to park it right here next to Carl's. And we have 2. Yeah, I think it is a Class 6, Paula. That's the best I could call it. But it is extra thick. Yeah, you can especially see it when you're comparing it to other coins of the same date. That right there is the best advice I can give people for searching large batches of coins. Sort them by date first. Once you get them sorted by date, you will be watching basically the same thing over and over and over again as far as the design is concerned. And that is where you are very most likely to be able to see minor differences and see what your normal ones look like up against ones that are doubled. This particular die I may not have noticed if it weren't in tandem with others of the same issue that were definitely normal. It doesn't seem that that die is going to come up very often either. It seems to be like a trailing die, so the mass of it was bagged before we got to this particular point. Either that or it's a new one just coming in. Paula had a show I didn't know about. Ugh. We keep getting this problem with eBay that we're not getting proper notification. Not eBay, I'm sorry, YouTube. The YouTubes are not working 100% correctly. I just see Sloppy Stack saying that he's not getting proper notification. This is another one right here. So we will be able to see it once and for all for sure on this coin. Oh yeah. Definitely there. Little class 6 doubling for you. It's relatively minor, but it is definitely there. Here's what I would tell you to do. Go out to the channel. If you're on the channel, you're looking at the Copper Coins channel. Where you liked it before, you'll see the bell notification thing. Click it off, then click it back on. Sometimes that likes to reset itself for whatever reason, I don't know. But that was something Jessica taught me a long time ago. And for some people, it actually had effect. It actually worked. So I can tell you to try that and see if that works. I don't really know anything else. But everyone who was not notified for this show, part of it could be because it was an edit. I edited it from an earlier time to a later time because I could not get started quite on time. I got really dizzy last night, had to go to sleep early. So when I went to sleep, I didn't have time to prepare all of these rolls for these shows. So I did it this morning instead. And that made me a little bit late, but I wouldn't have been able to do the show if I hadn't prepared. So I had to get it ready. Has to do with buffering in your browser as to whether or not you get notified. I didn't know that. So you can see that ridge line on the top of the UNIT, and it's almost razor sharp. And that's going to be very different from the double die that we're seeing because it's very thick on the double die. And that's a good way to know what you're looking at. Is or is not doubled. Number 21 now for Eric Bayer. Not seeing anything on the obverse of any of these. This is our especially fresh, crisp. I would go so far as to call this very early die state. This one is almost proof sharp. Yeah, I think this one is a very early die state. But not a die variety. Okay, that sounds good. Clear your internet cache. And then do the notifications thing. That's what Mark says. Got one for Mickey here. Not seeing anything on it though. All right, nothing there. So far, all we're finding is a double die reverse in this roll. So at the midpoint of the roll, I'm going to flip over to just doing reverses because we are not seeing anything on the obverses. We got two more coins to check both sides. Coin number 26 would be after the midpoint of the roll. I don't know about the grade, Carl. I wasn't looking at them for that. You can't grade a coin using a microscope, and die state definitely is not going to tell you what grade a coin is. This is another one from that same particular die pair. Very early die state, but not necessarily any particular grade. Doesn't quite work that way. Let's say this one's a nice MS65. Starting first class up next. Last one I'm going to be scoping on the obverse happens to be one of the double die reverses. So, to recap, if you look here at the word God, you'll see how thin this ridge line. I've got the light coming from this direction here. The light shining in, and that's why everything tilted toward the light is real bright. Everything tilted away from the light is dark. And so right here we have a ridge line that we're going up and over a step. And that step has a very thin edge. That's not hub doubling. Now I flip it over and you see how that step is a lot thicker. That step actually has a landing on it. That is a double die. It is minor, but it is there. You actually see it better on the RICA of America. Definitely a little bit of a double die. So that one goes to Sergeant First Class Eric. Now to continue with the reverses, because we're not doing much with obverses in this. So we've seen half the roll. We've seen what we're going to assume is all the different die pairs available in this roll. What we're doing now is looking for specific varieties based on the knowledge that we have gained from the remainder of the roll. You want to see what that looks like on your puny scope? Actually, this is a higher quality scope than many others, but it's not really magnified anymore. At the magnification I use, you should be able to see the same things I see at your magnification if your optical quality is any good. Some people think, well, you can see all this stuff because you use an electron microscope. No, I don't. In fact, I will back it out to here and tell you that we're going to see these just as easily at this magnification, which actually kind of makes it even easier. See, that's not one right there. You have very sharp top to the UNITED. According to what my microscope says, I am at 1.5 and I have 10x eyepieces. So I'm going to go with 15x. Oh, come on. I can't get them apart sometimes. Farm Dog gets the next one here. And this one also is not the double die. Number 32, this one goes to Mark. And not the double die. Actually, more than one light source is a hindrance, not a help. You would only want to use secondary light sources as a temporary thing to cast different light on something that you've already seen. This is one of the double dies. You see how that top thing just doesn't look sharp? Now let's flip this over and take a look at our marker on the obverse. And it's there. Looks like a little animal scratched all the way through the one. So definitely one of them. This is for Paul Hampton. So we know exactly what we're looking for. We know exactly what we have at this point. Makes the whole thing go quite fast. This is not a double die. Yeah, it takes magnification a lot of times to be certain on a whole lot of this stuff. You're not going to just see it right away. Okay, no double die here. Now you know specifically, Alexander, that DDO stands for double die obverse, meaning only on the front of the coin. This is one of them. So this is one of the double dies for Sissy. Well, minor thing, but it's there. I guarantee that. I guarantee. Coin number 37, if I can ever get the flips separated from one another. Taco John. Taco John gets... Is it or is it not? It is not. Not a double die. It's absolutely fine, Alexander. Everybody learns. That's the glory, the beauty to this. Everybody learns. You're never expected to know everything right off the bat. The whole thing about this is the effort of learning. The more you learn, the more you know. The more time you spend doing it, the more you're going to learn. And that is why we're here together. Otherwise, there'd be no point in it. If everybody knew everything about it, why would we need to be sharing? All right, got nothing on that one. Number 40. Everybody's still learning. I'm still learning, Nanistex. I'm still learning every single day because I did not know yesterday that this double die right here existed. And now I know how to find them. And I flip the coin over and show you we have those little scratches right through the one. Same die marker, same die pair. Second one for Paul. Coin number 41 now. I'll look again. And this one is not a double die. Now, all that ridge right up on the very tops of the letters of United is very sharp and very thin. No double die. It's a matter of comparing what you know to what you see. Again, not a double die. So we keep moving. For Stan, this one is the double die. So you can see here, when you look at the tops of the UNIT of United, they are thicker. You get the doubling on, especially on the E down here. And that zigzaggy die scratch line that runs between the N and the E is one of my markers. But you can easily see how this is thicker than it should be. This is thicker than it should be. Okay, so this is definitely another one of our double dies. So far we have 8 of these. 8 of these in this roll. DC now. Looking again, not a double die this time. Everything's very thin, very concise. We'll call it that, concise. Starting first class. Let's see what you've got. Not a double die again. I don't like autocorrect either. Alexander, how this works is you first register, and if you registered with your email, that's fine. But you register by sending an email to coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. It's what you see on the bottom of your screen. Send an email to that email telling me what your name and email address is and that you would like to register. I'll get you registered. It's absolutely free. Doesn't cost anything. Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm in North Carolina, so everything is Eastern Time for me. Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we run a show where we sell the spots for everyone to partake of coins in the roll. What we are looking for is obviously die varieties and or high-grade coins, anything else like that. We often find stuff. This is another one of the double dies, by the way. We often find stuff in these rolls, and when we find this stuff, we actually attribute the die variety to the coin based on the website coppercoins.com. If the coin is from a die that is not already listed, we will list it, and we will give you credit for that listing because the coin is yours. You also get the coin with a new flip for your collection. The flip, the insert, this part here, that shows the die number so that you'll know what die number you have. And we'll be able to match that up with photos on the website. And that is what goes behind doing what we do. I'm sorry, Sloppy Stacks, are we talking about the same thing here? You saying similar to 1DR002, this 1959? Because it wouldn't be a DO, that would be a double die obverse. Again, not a double die here. Hi, Frank. Good day, sir. And coin number 50 goes to our very own Eric Beyer. May get one of the double dies for himself. Let's see. No, not a double die. So that's going to be the end of this roll. It could be. We'll figure that out once we get the roll out and start really looking at it. But right now, I'm going to go on the premise that this is all of what we've got, and we are going to have to look at it. So we got Carl, Stan, Mickey, Sergeant First Class, Paul, Sissy, Paul, Stan, and Mark. So we got some duplication. Stan's got 3 of these. Thank you, Stan. Right? But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and get ready. It's okay, Alexander. Don't worry about the question thing. Where do I get my coins? I get my coins from all different kinds of sources. I've been doing this for 40 years. So I've got a lot of stuff. But I always buy from reputable sources so I can be sure that what I get has not been rifled through by someone like me. Yeah, right, Eric? That's That's a really good number to be able to work from, 10 to 12 of them. Dirty water, yes, we did. We found one minor double die reverse. Not really a whole lot, but it was a class 6 double die reverse. I'm going to go ahead and take off of here, come back in, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes, and we're going to have a reveal number 784 ready for you. That's going to be a 1961D roll. We'll be watching for those RPMs in about 5 or 10 minutes. So come back to reveal number 784, and we'll be there. See you then.